we're going to get started. So as you can probably imagine, you know what is the first screen that I'm going to share. Yep, there you go. In order to get to marketing resource, and we know this already, you're going to go to bhhsresource.com and log in. And this is live. And if this is your first webinar with me, I like to do, if at all possible, I like to do live classes for two reasons. Then you see how things are in real life. And the second reason is very important. Sometimes you get little problems, little inconvenience. And if you come across a little problem and you can resolve it right there on the spot, you see how to deal with those little problems. And that's why I like to do live classes much more than PowerPoints. So again, we log into the Resource Center. Now we're going to click on Marketing Resource. And now we're in Marketing Resource. Your Marketing Resource is going to look very much like this. Now, Monday, we cover basic navigation, how to find things, how to sort through things. We cover the profiles, very, very important, but I am going to spend the next 30 seconds repeating that. Your profile is absolutely essential. So look for your name, and click on it, and then click where it says Profile, and make sure that all the information in the profile is correct. If the information here is missing or is not correct, when you send a wonderful e-card or when you print a fantastic flyer, well, your information is not going to be correct, and we don't want that, right? So profile, super important. Now we are going to dive in. Our target today is to play with the system. We had a good webinar on Monday on how to navigate and how to find things. We had a very good webinar on Wednesday on how to deal with your contacts. If you miss any of those, do not worry. You just let me know and I will send you the reference materials. And I also have the webinar recorded. Okay, so if you missed the first two webinars, don't worry about it. Let me know. I will take care of you. Let's dive right in. So like I was telling you Monday, I am a car-carrying certified nerd. I'm not ashamed of it, I'm proud of it, and that makes me like the library. I like to start in the library, okay? So we're going to start in the library. Now, just a little refresher, 10-second refresher. The library is divided into master library. These are templates. Yes, you got almost 3,000 different templates. And my library. My library, as you start working with the system, your section, my library, will be populating with everything that you ever used. And when I say everything, I mean everything. For example, let's say that you upload a listing and your listing has 25 pictures. All 25 pictures will be there, okay? So my library has the materials, the e-cards, the flyers, and the components of those e-cards and flyers that you have created yourself. So going back to master library, like we covered Monday, the first thing that you want to do, if you're going to write one note on your notepad today, write this down. The first thing that you want to do is go to type and tell Marketing Resource what is it that you have in mind, okay? So let's imagine that I want to send an e-card, right? Okay, if I want to send an e-card, you want to make sure that you click where it says e-card. I hope you can see this on your screen clearly, e-card, okay? I'm going to explain why. I have gotten, over the years, at the very least, a couple of hundred calls, at the very least, okay? From very frustrated real estate professionals telling me, Justin, I was doing the Marketing Resource thing, and now I'm trying to print this beautiful flyer that I created, and I cannot print it, it's not working. Well, guess what? They were working on an e-card, but they wanted to do a flyer. So if you work on an e-card, there is no provision for printing because e-cards are meant to be seen on a screen. They will adapt to the size of the screen, whether it's a cell phone, a tablet, or a desktop computer. So they have no way to print, right? So imagine that you spend 10, 15, 20 minutes refining the perfect flyer only to find out that actually you didn't make a flyer at all. You made an e-card, right? And vice versa. If you want to send an e-card, but you create a flyer instead, it's not that bad because you can email the flyer, but the problem is that it comes as an attachment. The problem is that the flyer is designed to be printed. So when you open your flyer on a phone, well, it's gonna be tiny. You're gonna have to zoom in each section to read it. So awkward, extra steps, unnecessary. This is why the first step is you go to type right here and you select the type of material that you are planning to work on. Today, we're going to be working on an e-card first. So I'm going to select e-card. Now, you see this number right here? This is the total number of templates on the system, 2,549. Your number may be slightly different, but it's right about there. And look what happens when I click on e-card. That number gets reduced to 1,000. Why is that? Well, because now I'm looking only at e-cards, right? Okay, but let's say I don't want to go through 1,000 e-cards to find one that I like, Justin. I don't have that type of time. And I'm with you. I agree and I understand. So let's search for something. There is a search bar right here. So we are the end of April. The next holiday is what? Cinco de Mayo, right? Okay, so let's type in here Cinco, see what happens. Check that out. Now my templates have been reduced from 1,000 to 6, and I have 6 possible Cinco de Mayo templates that I want. Let's say that I don't want to send a Cinco de Mayo e-card. All right, let's do a 4th of July. I'm just going to put 4th. There you go. And what if I put 4th? Even more, see? So first, you will pick the type. Do not forget this. And second, you can use the search bar to narrow what you want to do. Now, let's imagine that all of us today are going to be working on an e-card for the 4th of July. So I don't know if this is too small on your screen, but you will notice that some of these e-cards have a place for 2 agents. If you have a team, if you have a teammate, if you're working on a particular project with one of your colleagues, you can use one of these. What if you really, really, really like one of the templates that has 2 agents, but it's just you? You're lonesome yourself and you don't want to work with a second person right there. You can pick any of this because it's very easy to eliminate the second person in there, okay? So we are going to pick one. Normally in a live class, I will ask the audience to pick one, but I am going to pick one myself today. So I am going to pick this one, Happy 4th of July. Once you click on it, what it pops up is a preview with details. Yes, it will tell you what this e-card is good for, and it will tell you important things. For example, if the e-card was video enabled, meaning that you could attach a video to your e-card, or if the e-card was prepared to get information directly from the MLS, you would see all that information in here. Yeah? But this is just a preview. You're not working yet. In order to start working, you have to click on Get Started. And look at the screen. All you have is Info, Preview, Get Started, and close the screen. Nothing else. Very simple, right? So we're gonna click on Get Started, and you have to give it a name. This is the name that is going to move this template from the master library to your library, to the section that is called My Library, okay? This name is going to create a copy of a generic template and it's going to move it to your library. So I am going to call this my 4th of July because I'm very creative with names. All right, so continue. Now we're cooking. This is where we're going to be working. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. Remember how I told you that if you picked an e-card, design for 2 agents, but you want to do it by yourself? Well, right here. Do you see on the left, co-agent options? Do you see that? Okay, you're gonna use the drop down and pick single agent. And the second person at the bottom disappears. How's that? The subject line. The subject line always will come pre-populated. It will have some text in there. Do you have to use that text? Absolutely no, you do not have to use that text. You want to change that? Go right ahead and you can change it. You can edit this. One of your colleagues in Broward County started using this system, I would say right from the get-go, from inception, right? So it was years ago. And what she does, she adds her name to the subject line every single time. She makes it like a little extra personal signature. So she will do something like, from Patty, happy 4th of July. Yes, you can do this. I'm gonna change this from Justin. Yep, easy to edit. The second part of this is pretty cool. This right here, with the yellow bubble, I want you to pay attention to this section, yes? Sometimes you will see just this. It will say, use this area to write a personalized message about the subject, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you will find a very long chunk of text in a language that I'm pretty sure you don't read, Latin, Old Latin, the Romans language. When you see a big chunk of text like that, it means exactly the same thing as this little one. It just means, hey, your text goes here, and this is what it's going to look like, yeah? So in order to send this e-card, I need to have all the yellow bubbles, whether it's just one, like in this particular case, or 30 yellow bubbles. I need to turn those yellow bubbles from yellow to green, meaning I need to turn them from you must edit this field. That's what the yellow bubble signifies. You must do something about this field, right? To green, which means, hey, I'm good to go. You can keep on working or you can send the e-card right now. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna click on this field and I'm going to highlight the whole thing. And I'm going to type something super creative, like, hi, happy 4th of July. How about that? I'm not winning any prizes for creativity later. But I want to show you something. Once I'm done with the text, I can highlight the whole text and then format the text in the same way that you would format the text on an email. See this top bar right here? This is your edit bar. So I'm going to change the font from the default to Georgia. Why do I like Georgia? It is our font. It is Berkshire Hathaway's font, Georgia, right? So now I'm going to change the size. There you go. I like that a little bit better, right? And I'm going to change the color too. I can change the color from any of these choices, or if you want to get really complicated about things, you can click more colors. You can pick out of this palette. Or if you want to get really uber complicated about things, you can actually type in here the code for the color that you like. Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. I just want you to see that you have that option. So I'm just going to pick a good old color like red. There we go. Very good. Now I am going to show you something very important. So probably this should be the second note that you write in the notepad. I want you to look at the screen very carefully, right here, this section. This right here, the drop down, mail merge. Okay, so after hi, I'm just going to put a space. And after I located the pointer, my space, right where I want it, I'm going to go to mail merge. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to write this down. I'm going to go to mail merge on the top of the editor bar. Towards the end on the right, you're gonna open mail merge and you're going to pick first name. Yeah. Now, because I picked first name, I picked my mail merge field after I formatted the text, I have to reformat the text. It's not a big deal. Just change it to something else, back to the color you like. There you go. Now, I know it looks weird. It says hi, brackets, first underscore name. That doesn't look too sexy, right? Well, what's going to happen is, bear with me, what's going to happen is that this is a little bit of programming that you're doing. Yeah, you graduated, now you're a geek. You're doing a little bit of programming. This little programming snippet is going to go to your contacts, is going to pull the first name out of each one of your contacts, and is going to insert the first name there. So whether you send this to 12 people or 1,200 people, every one of them are going to get a personalized email. So it's going to be not hi first name, it's going to be hi Bunny, hi Jane, hi Justin, hi Bill, hi Carol, each one of them regardless of how many emails you're sending. How cool is that? This is, I want you to think about this. Just the same way that when you hear your name, you cannot help but to turn around and see who is it that is saying your name. This plays on the same mechanism on the mind of the person receiving your email, right? It is not anymore a generic e-card that obviously you have sent to 1,200 people. Now it is a personalized e-card that you send to that one person. You're talking to them directly. On a live class, it takes about an hour. Usually I tell you a couple of very funny anecdotes that I have about what happens when you use the first name in there. Today we have only about 15 minutes left. So funny anecdotes for next time. So again, super fast. If you didn't write notes, on the editor bar, look for mail merge. Put your pointer exactly where you want the first name to be. You go to mail merge and then you pick first name. And that is going to add the first name. Some of you are thinking right now, and I know that you're thinking this because I have a very good crystal ball. Some of you are thinking, hey, Justin, what happens if I don't have the first names in your contacts? Well, then you have to add them. You have to add them. We cover a little bit about contacts during Wednesday, but we didn't do anything about editing. If you know for a fact that you don't have first names for anybody, well, maybe you want to skip the mail merge section because otherwise it's going to look like a blank space in there. But it is a very, very good idea to put all the first names for all your contacts. It makes a massive difference in the way that your e-card is going to be received, right? So we're done with editing. We really are. I mean, I talked a lot, but we are. So you're gonna notice there is no save button anywhere, yeah? All you need to do is just click outside, anywhere on this window, and you're done. Now you have options. These options were not available before. You have one for an envelope, one for a link, one with an F, one with a little bird, and one with letters I-N. Probably you know what this is. This one is going to take you to email. This one is going to take you to create a link if you want just to copy the link and post it somewhere else. This one is going to open Facebook directly in your computer so you can post your e-card on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, yeah? Now I'm gonna do this only once and then we're gonna go back to design and we're gonna spend the rest of the time that we have today, 10, 15 minutes on design. So if you wanna email this, you're good to go. Click on the envelope. Third note that I want you to put on your notepad today. Third one, always pick add from address book. Ignore the rest. Don't pay attention to the rest. Just click where it says add from address book. I'll give you 5 seconds to finish writing that down. Add from address book. I'm going to click on it and it's going to take me to my contacts. Now my contacts, I can pick them one by one individually, or I can go to groups. Yep. And then I can pick one of my groups. So I am going to pick one of my groups. and I'm going to click on Add Selected. Yes? And we see where this is going to go. And you have two options. I can send it right now, and if I send it right now, Joyce and Bill and Kim and Sherry and Carol and Terry, they're gonna think that I'm crazy because it's not July. So if I send Happy 4th of July right now, I'm gonna get some interesting phone calls. Or I can schedule this. Yeah? So I can click on schedule and then, well, move from April to May to June to July. And I can go to Saturday, July 4th, and I am going to send this at 10:15 a.m. schedule. That's it, I'm done. I could do, if I wanted, all the holidays for the next 3 years. It takes a few seconds. Now we're gonna go back straight to design. I am going to pick something different. This time I'm going to pick a listing. So you see how easy it is to auto-populate a listing. So bear with me while I change accounts. All right, fantastic. So I'm gonna go to library. And this time I want to create a flyer. I want to create a flyer for one of my listings. So on type, instead of e-card, I'm going straight to the F for flyer. And I can also type right here, listing. That is going to narrow the results even further. All right, so I have a few nice flyers. I'm just gonna pick one. Let's say, I like this one, just listed. I want you to notice that the process to create an e-card, the process to create a flyer, the process to create anything is exactly the same. There's no complexity added to this. The same thing that we do for an e-card, we're gonna be doing for a flyer. So I'm gonna click on Get Started. I have to give it a name. So my listing, continue. Now this is 2 pages, and you see all the yellow bubbles that I have all over the place? Oh, look at that. Remember that I mentioned the big chunk of text in a language that you do not speak? That's it. Yes? This just means, hey, your text is going to be here. Now, do I really want to spend the next 6 hours just typing in there and uploading pictures and first finding the pictures and downloading them to my computer and uploading? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You know what I want to do? Look to the right of your screen. You're going to pick on choose right here. And once you pick on choose, you're going to find all your listings. All your listings are going to be there. All of them, right? By the way, these are not my listings. This is the office listings. So I'm going to pick one of them. Let's see. I am going to pick, let's pick this one. All I did, click on choose, found the listing, and click once on that listing. That's all I did, nothing else, okay? In the meanwhile, I'm just chilling here. If I had a dog, I could be playing with my dog. I'm just waiting for the machine to do the work for me. How cool is that? This is like having a perfect AI robot doing this stuff for you. All you have to do is point the AI in the right direction. And did I mention that you guys don't have to pay for this? Just by being with Berkshire Hathaway, this is covered. If you were to buy a new marketing system like this from MailChimp or Constant Contact, which are 2 very good, very reputable companies, you would be talking about somewhere between $250 and $400 a month just for the mailing part of it. Forget about design. The designs are really poor. Now, look at the screen. See how I say saving? It's pretty much done. It's just saving the work. See what it says? This can take a minute. They're not kidding. But look at the bright side. You are not doing this. The system is doing this for you. You can just pick the listing, go to the kitchen, brew yourself a cup of tea. It is not normal for it to take that long. Remember what I said at the beginning? You have little inconvenience, little problems that pop up when you do a live class. I like this because if we have a problem, then we can work on resolving it. Okay, it is done. You click on OK. And now I have a flyer that is complete. I do see, however, that there is a field right here that still has a yellow bubble. Okay, so I can either delete the whole thing, click outside, and I'm good to go. Or I can click on it and type something else like hi there or whatever you want to type. Remember, this is a flyer, so it wouldn't pay for you to use mail merge. It's a flyer. You're going to print a whole bunch of them, right? All right. So now I have a whole bunch of options right here. And this is the last note that I'm going to ask you to write today, the last one. Don't laugh at me. The printer icon, it is not for printing on your printer at the office or at home. The printer icon is not for printing at your office or at home. The printer icon is going to take you to Express Docs, where you can order thick stock, postcards, and whatnot. So the printer icon is not for printing. If you want to print this, you have to click on the Adobe icon. If you want to print this, you have to click on this icon right here, the one that looks like a little triangle, like a little flower. That is the Adobe icon, and I want you to click on this. So click on that, and it's going to generate what is called a print-ready PDF. This is a high-quality PDF, right? And that is what you're going to be using to print at the office or at home. It's going to save it. I'm going to save it on the desktop. And now I am going to open that flyer, and then I'm going to share the screen so you can see the flyer. So new share. If you're seeing the flyer, I think you are because I just shared it. This is the flyer. See? See what a beautiful flyer? All the information came directly from the MLS. All the text came from your remarks on the MLS. And your signature with your picture is going to be there. How easy it was to do that. So in a nutshell, this is how easy it is to design your own e-cards, your own flyers, your own postcards, or whatnot on Marketing Resource. Once you land on Marketing Resource, once you know how to get in there, well, it's just a matter of clicking in a couple of yellow bubbles, or in the case of listings, just going to choose, pick your listing, and you're done. This is a premium system. You have access to it. You should be using it to print your flyers, to send e-cards, and whatnot.